Okay, so you're going to take notes on each one of the biogeochemical cycles. So this is just an overview of what these cycles really are. So Earth is constantly receiving, getting energy from the sun. So even though we're getting energy, the amount of matter, the amount of stuff on the earth does not change. I want you to try to think back to the law of conservation of matter from chemistry, which stated that matter is neither created nor destroyed on the planet, it just changes form. That's going to be really important to these cycles because matter is not just going away, the stuff is not just going away, it's just changing to another form. So matter is recycled from organisms to the environment and then back again through these things called biogeochemical cycles. So Earth's ecosystems mainly cycle carbon, nitrogen, and water. So these organisms are in the atmosphere and they're also important and used by organisms. So we're going to focus on these three cycles. Alright, first I want to just go through the word biogeochemical cycles. There's a lot in that word, but it's really going to help you understand the cycles if you understand the word. So first off, the word bio, the root bio means life. So you can see in these pictures plants and animals, that's what I'm talking about. Life forms, organisms, using these different chemicals. So bio means life. Geo means land. So think of like the atmosphere and land. And that's usually where these chemicals are located at first, just in the land or in the atmosphere. And then chemical is the actual chemical that's cycling through. So it could be carbon, it could be nitrogen, it could be water. Okay? Cycle itself means a rotation. It's going from one form to the other and back again. It's never ending. It's continuous. So make sure you fill that out so you understand the word biogeochemical cycle. You can also draw these pictures in that second box underneath each word so you have a better idea of what these words really mean. Okay, so we're going to start with the carbon cycle. So you're going to move to that on your note sheet. So carbon is found in every living organism. It's literally part of the plants, it's part of us, it's found in everything that's alive. It's also found in the atmosphere itself and in rocks and in the soil. We can also find it in gasoline, and we also burn it through the burning of fossil fuels. The most common form of carbon is carbon dioxide, so you're going to see that a lot in the carbon cycle. Alright, so now I'm going to take time to really explain what this cycle is. So let's say we start with carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. It's just in the air. Plants take in this carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. If you remember the formula for photosynthesis, hopefully you remember that carbon dioxide is one of the things that plants actually take in. Then I hope you remember that plants and animals both use cellular respiration. So while they take in carbon dioxide, animals and plants as well will also release this carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere through cellular respiration. So the carbon is moving from the atmosphere into organisms and then back into the atmosphere. So that is one part of the carbon cycle. The second part here is that carbon dioxide can also be released into the air or the atmosphere through combustion. So combustion is that human action of burning fossil fuels. So we can burn wood, coal, and oil, and every time we burn those substances, carbon is being released into the atmosphere. So that's adding more carbon into the atmosphere. Carbon is also stored in dead animals, so that's on the ground, dead organisms. Carbon is stored in them. We can break apart that carbon and release it back into the air through decomposition. So when dead animals are decomposed or taken apart by decomposers, it releases the carbon that was stored in them back into the air. So take a minute to write down all those details. I'll show you a brief picture of the carbon cycle, but then you're going to go to the other sheet and you're going to go to the website and click on the carbon cycle. You'll then record the diagram from that website onto your note sheet and summarize the carbon cycle in your own words in 6 to 8 sentences. After that, we'll move to the next biogeochemical cycle. But right now, you're going to move to your other note sheet and go to that website to complete the diagram for the carbon cycle. I'll show you another version of the diagram that kind of shows what we talked about just now, just so you can see it and visualize it. Right here we talked about photosynthesis, taking in carbon from the air. We talked about decaying organisms being decomposed, and that eventually releases carbon back into the soil and into the air. We talked about respiration, releasing carbon dioxide into the air, and also plant respiration as well, releasing carbon dioxide into the air. And then we talked about emissions from combustion, releasing carbon into the air. Again, you'll have more detail on the diagram that you draw on the other website. So right now, put the other sheet in front of you, go to that website and click on the carbon cycle so that you can draw out that diagram and summarize the carbon cycle in your own words. After that, you'll come back to blend space and do the nitrogen cycle next.